serve and protect the people. That should come before serving and protecting any property owners. You must be serving and protecting the people that reside in that community. We are tired having to rally year after year. But one thing that is good is before this rally concludes, we will talk about a plan of action. What is the purpose? What are the points of a rally? Many of you, if you're like me, we're frustrated when we have to come out here and rally again and again and again. But we must look at the purpose of a rally in a collective sense. A rally all by itself may not be effective, but a rally amongst other things is very effective. We have rallies, Black Lives Matter calls, protests and rallies, so that we can pull our strength from each other. That little, any bit of fear that may reside in you when you see others feel like you feel, hopefully that fear leaves you. Hopefully the spirit of solidarity and love will overcome your spirit of fear. So now what we want to do is we want to open the mic for those who want to share some of their feelings in this moment about what's going on. We want to open that mic for you.
Anybody want to come up? There you go. I don't like it, Donna. Don't be close, sir. It matters for everybody. I went through myself. I had a brother of mine who was killed by cops. He was shot 7 times. First shot was in his head. Second shot was in his neck. Third shot in his chest. And they still handcuffed him. That even he was already dead. Speak up. He was already dead. And they still handcuffed him. And they saw the police act in self-defense, and he didn't have no weapons on himself. Thank you very much. And I know life is not easy. Thank you. Anyone else? This is hard.
So, you know, we wake up every day and we see the news. You know, especially for this week. There's been there's been countless deaths on both sides of the lines. You know, and I feel that the biggest problem waking up every day is that there is a line. You know. I find it difficult to stand here and not get emotional.
Yeah.
You know?
Go ahead.
It's it's hard. You know, you see the police behind you and you see everything going on and you know they here to protect you and to serve you, but you really don't quite trust their intentions. And it's hard to grow up in a community like that and to, put that trust and faith inside of the local governments to adhere to, your concerns and your needs. And people get frustrated and you can grow angry, and this is our voice. So people who say Black Lives Matter is nothing but, a hate-filled, racist by nature group. I heard Rudy Giuliani talking about that bullshit. Man, you can cut it. I'm a firm believer in the value of all human life, but I'm also a firm believer in social responsibility. And Black Lives Matter has a social responsibility to give those at the table that is still hungry a voice.
Yes. Yes. Anyone else? Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Yes.
Hello? Alright, so I didn't plan on speaking. I thought it was important that I came out here. I brought my family with me because as a black man who's pretty fortunate, I'm an attorney, I'm very blessed. I didn't come up with much, but kind of worked my way through it. I think we're all fortunate to live in this community where we don't necessarily deal with some of the depravity that you see in some of these other communities like Baltimore, and Camden, and Newark. And, you know, I really felt that I had to come up and say something because I've had a conversation with my son. I had to try to explain these things to him.
Yeah.
Because kids, they don't see black and white. They don't see the race. And then, you know, they're told the cops are there to protect them. But then when they see these images on TV that just contradict that, you know, how do you put that into perspective? And he said something to me the other day that really resonated with me. He said, you gotta forgive me here. He said, Dad, you put on your seatbelt. I wouldn't drive with my seatbelt. Sometimes I don't do it, especially for short distance. I said, oh, it's all right. We're just going up the street to Mom's house. And he was like, no, put on your seatbelt. Because if a cop stops you, you don't know what's going to happen. And that's a really powerful statement. You know, he's only 7. And that really hit me. So, you know, I'm encouraged by what I see here. You know, I'm so proud to say I live in this town. You know, just looking around, we're a very diverse crowd. When we say Black Lives Matter, we're not saying that white lives don't matter. It's just we got a system that has really for so long it's just been at war with people of color, not even just black people. Within our own communities, we're at war with people of color. So we need to keep all those things in mind and just remember that although we come out here and protest, we should always be solution oriented.
Yeah.
It's an economic issue, folks. You know, look at this. We're in a very strong economic community here. We're not dealing with some of those things. Sometimes the media, they have their own issues that they want to, you know, kind of perpetuate, but it's an economic issue. So let's educate our kids. Let's fight for education, for jobs, things like that. Because that's how we're going to raise ourselves up. That's how we're going to have a community as great as this one. Thank you for letting me share some words with you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Black lives
Matter.
Black lives
Matter.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
Black lives
Matter.
Black lives
Matter.
Ashe.
Ashe.
It gives them time to come back. People say that when you look at these videos of the murder of our brothers and sisters over and over again, because there was a woman who was actually raped when the cops smelled marijuana on her, so they inserted 2 fingers into her, so I call that a rape. You looking for something up in a woman's vagina and you're a man and she didn't give you permission, that's rape. So they say when you look at this you get desensitized, and for me I believe that we get re-traumatized over and over again. So Geraldine's going to give us a little piece on self-care. You cool?
Yeah, everybody knows that. All right. I wear my black hoodie today in remembrance of Trayvon Martin. That day still stays with me and many of us. Carrying by the, quoting from Audre Lorde. Quoting from Audre Lorde, caring for myself is not self-indulgence. It is self-preservation that is an act of political warfare. It is tough. It is hard to see day in and day out our brothers and sisters murdered, executed, and assassinated on TV, day in and day out, through the media, on Facebook. That is traumatic, because that could be us, that could be our family. And us as the black community, brown and black, we are family. We must take a moment for ourselves in this, taking care of ourselves is important during these times. We must take a moment away from all of that. And it is okay. It is okay not to watch the videos of our brothers and sisters dying. It is okay to take a step back from all of that.
That's right.
It is okay to be in community with your people, to laugh, to enjoy one another, to love one another. It is okay to stay home today for those who are not here, because it is too much to be around all these police officers, because seeing them is traumatic for us. Because we do not know what can happen next. I drive and think, did I turn my turn signal on? Will I be pulled over for wearing this hoodie today? These are thoughts that go through my head. Daily acts that other people take for granted. We as Black people fear that will cost our lives. So it is okay for those who are home today. It is okay to take a moment to yourselves. Love one another. It is okay to laugh. It is okay to take a deep breath. Some of us are telling our stories today of our encounters with police, our families who have been murdered. And it is tough. It is hard. It is okay to cry. It is okay to break down. It is okay not to be strong. Because you're taking care of yourselves. We're taking care of each other. Love one another.
Anybody want to say any words after that? Ashe.
All the things that have happened in the last week or so and in decades past are all traumatic, but it's very, very enlightening. It's very, very heartwarming that everybody as a community can come together and acknowledge it, because this is the first step for us to move forward. As a wife and a mother and a stepmother, all of this, every single story hurts my heart. Because I have to think about when my husband come home today, when I get back from work, when my stepson come home, I have a daughter. How will I explain this to her? That this is part of her history now. You know, that all these things have happened. But knowing that everybody can come together, Black, white, Latino, Hispanic, whatever you want to call it or identify, is such an enlightening and empowering thing to see. And something that we don't see often enough as a whole, as a nation. And if people can acknowledge us in that sense, and we can come together like this on a broader scale, on a national scale, the way that it's growing, then finally someone will hear, someone will get the message. Legislators will go into action and go into work and do the things that we voted them in here to do. And that's the thing that kind of, you know, it helps. It really helps.
Hello, my name is Nyack NY. I have lived here for all my daggone life. And I'm tired of seeing police take over us, doing what they want to do to us, beat us up, whatever. But let me tell you what all y'all need to do. You live or not, you better vote. Stop saying that you're not going to vote. You got to get that right. You got the right to vote, so vote. Make sure all y'all got that vote. Everything's supposed to be right here. Get all this stuff together here. I'm tired of these cops shoot us down like we ain't got nothing. I thought what you supposed to do was to wound us first before you aim at our fucking heart or our head. No, that's not true. They aim at our heart and not our head, okay? I'm tired of people dying for nothing. This is really ridiculous. We gotta live together.
That's right.
Well, let's start living together. Start voting. Every last one of you. Yeah. And don't say you're all happy. You do happy.
Ashe. I love y'all. You know, sometimes in these rallies, this is the only time I hear people say they love me. So I'm going to say to y'all, I love y'all.
Love you.
And we love you back.
Okay, I'm going to make a pledge today. We pledge togetherness. We will not allow ourselves to be divided. We pledge to allow our thinking and actions to be guided by love. We pledge to bring courage and power into our communities and stop their flow out. We pledge not to be controlled by fear, but instead by our dreams. Ashe, y'all. Ashe.
Again, we want to extend the invitation. If there's anyone that wants to get something out, would like to share anything with the crowd, anything where our voice may be heard, you have an opportunity to speak. We don't want to shut anyone's voice out. Is there anyone else?
Thank you. I've seen a lot of people putting a lot of things on Facebook, online, a lot of angry things, and I'll be one to say that I myself have gotten really angry at what's going on. But something that I gotta recognize for myself, and I hope y'all hear me out, is that anger is a secondary emotion. Anger is something that we're not born with, all right? A lot of what's going on is people are afraid. There is so much fear in our communities, so much false fear of good cops, false fear of good communities. And I say fear not, because perfect love casts out fear. So let us love each other perfectly. And you know what? It's not always gonna be pretty. It might suck, it might not feel good. But look to your left and look to your right. Start loving people. Don't be afraid. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you. We left the space for folks of color to talk, but I want to put somebody on the spot because I think that the Pride Center means a lot. That community should be heard from, and I'm gonna actually make Joseph Cole come up and say a few words. Because what happened in Pulse, most of those people were brown and black. And we tried to whitewash it and be like, oh, terrorism, etc. That was a hate crime. It was a hate crime against brown and black, lesbian, gay, bi, trans, gender non-conforming folks. So I wanted that to be known, and I wanted to know that we stand in collaboration with the Pride Center. That's why I'm calling you.
It's just really important that we recognize that this is an issue of oppression, and that it is easy to divide and conquer. It is easy to tear us apart. And it is important that we all need to recognize how in our lives we either can contribute to the solution or a part of the problem. And being silent is being part of the problem. As a white person, it is my responsibility to speak up and not be silent, and to feel uncomfortable, and to be an ally. The trauma that I felt after Pulse, I spoke to my friends who are people of color, and I said, this is what you felt every day, every news story, and I couldn't function. It took me over a week to get back to a normal semblance of reality. And I said, hearing this every day, we do need to come together as a community. We need to figure out how we can have an equitable society, how people won't get murdered in cold blood, how we value lives, how we value black lives, how we value women, how we value lesbian, gay, bi, and trans people. This is what we forget.
Please go to our Facebook page, which is Black Lives Matter Rockland Orange, and tell your stories there. We like to actually we want to do like a citizen review board so that we can take it to Albany. I would take it to somebody else whose name we cannot say over there in New City. So y'all know what I'm talking about, right? So I want to be able to, so if you have stories that you have to tell with incidents of police, please go on our Facebook page, put your stories up there, please like our page, so that we know we can hear from you.
Black lives matter. Black lives